everybody. Thanks for joining us today. We're here talking about our Bobcat L85. This is our new front end loader. Great piece of equipment. Intermountain Bobcat sold us this. We've used it for about 50 hours now. So far, the only thing that I've had any warranty issues with is a shade for the operator so the sun doesn't get in your eyes. Other than that, it's performed flawless. Walking back here, one thing that really sold us on the Bobcat, and it's filthy right now because we've had tremendous winds, is the engine compartment. This thing's going to get a pressure washing this weekend, but everything's easy to get to. You have your air filter right up here. You have your hydraulic oil fill here. You have your hydraulic oil filter here. Engine oil filter. Engine oil check. Antifreeze. If you come around this other side, you fill your fuel here. You have your fuel filter here. You have another hydraulic breather, your engine oil filler here. Everything's really accessible. Very, very easy to get in here. Pressure wash it. The belly pans are very accessible. Everything's right where it should be on a machine. No having to fight it to get to it. Walking around here, we decided to go with the more construction type tires as we run primarily on dirt. When they did their PDI, they put a little too much air in. Factory says 29 in the rear, 44 if you have a bucket on, and I believe 59 if you run Pallet Forks. We don't run anything super heavy, so I keep it right around that 50 mark. Opening up into the cab, huge access right here. The door pin is shut. You're able to get up in here. Good comfortable seat. They got a spacious storage spot right here. You can tilt your steering wheel, unlock that, telescope it. I prefer it right here whenever I'm operating. And then I get out that way. I put my garage door opener to open our automated gate and our garage door here. You can see some of the functions you have. You have your forward, reverse, your bucket float, your diff lock, high and low range. These two buttons have to do with your creeping mode that it has for specific attachments. You're in and out. You'll notice that we have, later on in the video, we have coupled it with a Blue Diamond hydraulic pallet fork. This right here moves your pallet forks in and out, or whatever attachment you have on there. I like how you can open this door. You can keep airflow in here if it's a nice day like it has been today. This thing seals tight. You come back here, you got your heater, your air conditioning, you got a Bluetooth plug, or not a Bluetooth, but a USB plug, USB-C. You have a 12-volt charger, your heater, air conditioning controls, windshield wiper, heated seats, very nice on the cold days. It has a great view. I like this machine much over the Kubota. A lot quieter. You can move this armrest back and forth. Bobcat's really tailored this machine to be operator friendly. Good cup holders. You can see it has another storage underneath the seat here. I'll step back. I need to get a chain built for in there. You can undo this here or undo it in here. Either way works. When you're inside the cab, usually you pull that tab. You can hear it seal. This machine comes with LED lights, front and rear. They are very nice lights. The headlights on this, coupled with turn signals, is a really nice touch as well. I would imagine for snow plowing that would be really nice. Coming over here to the front, we have the Blue Diamond hydraulic pallet forks. These make it so that we can move our logs, 24 foot logs, no problem. but then on the same time, simply move them in slightly, and we can move any of our Gaylords, any of our wood pallets. It's really a game changer. I'm not a big fan of Blue Diamond's craftsmanship here in a couple places. If you notice, I need to cut this lobe a little bit so that this can quick release, easy, without a second person out here with a pry bar popping that. That's something Blue Diamond didn't have very good oversight on. Coming over here, this machine is very, very user friendly. You have 2 grease ports for your oscillation, 2 grease ports for your articulation, a grease zerk right here for your articulating ram. The other articulating ram, the other end is through this grease port here. This does your bottom pins and your top center pin on your hydraulic rams. You can access your grease zerks here for your boom, and then everything else is really cut and dry. There's all sorts of different grease zerks, and they're easy to get to. We go about 8 to 10 hours on this machine. As you can see, this really isn't an entrance here. It's more of just a either an emergency escape or you know, a nice breeze. This right here is a fuse panel. All your fuses and electrical are in there, very accessible. This right here that's not a step is your battery box. Just the way Bobcat designed this machine, they really made sure that the operator is comfortable. It's quiet. It's one of the most quiet machines I've operated.
Speaking of operating, here is a 1-cord pallet filled with ponderosa pine. We're going to be coming into it, and you'll see the machine grunt a little bit as it picks up. It's a little bit heavy, lifts up that back end a bit. That pallet with the wood and everything, it's green wood, so it probably weighs about 5,000 pounds. And the machine picks it up. I just keep it in turtle mode as I walk it across the yard. You can see, I mean, that's a fair amount of wood. That would be considered 3 face cords. And there's no rear end lift. Stays pretty stable. In reality, I should have the air pressures just a little bit higher in the front end if I was to be moving something like this around on a regular basis. We don't typically move this around on a regular basis, so I prefer to keep it at the 44 psi that the owner's manual suggests for bucket operations. Being able to drive it on the dirt like we do and not being bucked around like I was in a skid loader is definitely a plus. As we get to where we're going to unload this pallet, you can see it has no problem lowering it. It can handle the function smoothly. But that definitely is a pretty heavy pallet. Next, we're moving towards the back of our yard and decking up some logs. These were a semi-load of logs that we had bucked up into lengths to run through our Dynawood processor. Here you see me struggling just a little bit to get these logs to stay where they need to be. That's kind of the problem with it. As you can see, as we head out towards more of our laid out logs that have been bucked, this machine picks these logs up and helps to sort them really with ease. It leaves the yard much cleaner than, say, a track loader. It's much more maneuverable. The side is a lot better and definitely a nicer machine than, for this application than our Kubota SVL 65. This go around, the logs were a little bit more wanting to comply with where I wanted to put them. This last log, you can see I hang on to it. It's a shorter one, and instead of making 2 trips, I just keep it on the forks and head it over to the smaller deck. A lot of these gentlemen disbelieve claims that we're making as much firewood in an hour or a day as what we are, but look at these logs. They're beautiful. They're relatively straight grain, very little knots to them, and I mean, we can make them. You know, that's a 16-foot log on the forks right now, and we're marking them bucking them anywhere from 12s to 24s, really. And so long as we put them on our SC15 butt first, we are able to keep them from tipping off. Switching gears yet again, I want to highlight our Blue Diamond Pallet Forks. I can go from moving logs around the yard to bringing it in and grabbing our pallets, moving them around, so that way we're never missing a beat. There's less time in and out of the cab, less time for moving the forks back and forth. As you see, we do it like a bunch all day long, back and forth, back and forth. So it's really nice to have this convenience. Backing out. There's my cameraman's finger, and we're opening the forks back up. Another little demonstration on how these forks work. The esteemed cameraman is standing atop a bag at the moment. Really, the only gripe I have about these forks is the tips are a little bit harder to see, but as with anything, it takes some time to operate. appreciate you guys watching, and always